A Princeton grad student is being held captive in Iraq by a militia with ties to Iran. That is according to Israel's prime minister. Elizabeth Tsurkov has dual Israeli and Russian citizenship. And according to Israel, she used her Russian passport to visit Iraq for research back in March. We also know Tsurkov is a fellow at a think tank based in Washington. So joining us now is David Tafuri, who worked at the State Department during both the Obama and George W. Bush administrations. David, thank you so much for your time. So she's now apparently being held. How potentially dire is this situation?
Well, we don't know. We've just found out about this. This is an interesting and unfortunate international incident. She was apparently kidnapped in March from the Karada neighborhood of Baghdad. She was doing research for her doctoral thesis. She had been to Iraq many times, so she likely knew her way around Iraq, but she was likely also targeted because of her, because she's an Israeli national. She's a dual national, apparently, both an Israeli national and a Russian national. So that causes an interesting situation. Both countries have an obligation to try to rescue her and get her back. She was apparently taken by a Shia, Iran-backed Shia militia in Iraq. And there are a number of militias in Iraq. They've grown a lot over the last few years. They've been legalized in Iraq, but they're not really part of the military, and some are harder to control than others. The ones that are backed by Iran tend to act independently. This one was backed by Iran. It's affiliated with Hezbollah. So we don't know whether anyone will have any influence with them, but likely Russia has some influence with them, given that Russia is a strong partner and ally with Iran. And so Russia might be able to rescue her if that's what they want to do, but there hasn't been any success yet. As I mentioned, she's been kidnapped since March, although this has just come to light and been made public.
Yeah, just learning now here in July. So I just want to recap for people because it really is a lot to wrap our minds around. So she has a dual citizenship between Israel and Russia. She was captured in Iraq by a group with ties to Iran. So with all of that being said, last year, Iraq's parliament passed this law which criminalizes any attempt to normalize ties with Israel. So we have all of these countries potentially involved. How likely is there to be any sort of compromise or agreement?
Look, it's interesting that you note that the law that Iraq passed, because, of course, a number of countries in the Middle East are going in the other direction, normalizing relations with Israel, like some of the Gulf countries, for instance, the United Arab Emirates. But Iraq has gone the other way because of the influence of Iran, likely. As you mentioned, the parliament has passed new laws making it illegal to deal with Israel. And there's a sentiment in Iraq that's anti-Israel. And so this might be the reason she was taken. We don't know what demands they have. Are there demands of her family? Are they demands of the country of Israel? It's not clear, but it is certainly likely an Iran-backed militia in Iraq, and some would have influence over that militia, especially the Iranian government would likely have influence. The IRGC in Iran would have influence, and Russia may have some influence given the alliance between Russia and Iran. So one would hope Russia is engaging here because she is a citizen of Russia.
My last question for you, David. What is the best case scenario for her to be returned and returned safely?
Well, the best case scenario is that she is returned safely. She's escorted out of Iraq, flown out of the airport in Baghdad. There wouldn't be any direct flights between Baghdad and Israel, but she'd fly to a neutral country and then make it back home very quickly, or fly to Russia. Perhaps diplomats from some other countries are trying, or acting as intermediaries here. There is a U.S. connection to this too, of course, because she was studying at Princeton University here in the United States. So the United States she's not an American citizen, but the U.S. also has an interest in seeing her get home safely.
Yeah, and a fellow at that think tank based in Washington. So certainly a lot to unpack with this one as well. David Tafuri, thank you so much for your time.
Thank you.
Thank you for watching. Go to newsnationnow.com to find NewsNation on your television provider. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.